Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
Somewhere between science and superstition.
We have such sights to show you.
Strange Eons.
Welcome to Strange Eons Radio. That is Eric over there.
Hello.
That is Vanessa over there.
Hello.
I'm Kelly. Hey, Vanessa.
Yeah.
In true weird uncle fashion,
Yeah.
I have a gift for lovely little Danica.
Oh?
Yes.
Oh? A gift from Uncle Kelly, you say?
Yep.
Oh, I'm bad idea with those are.
Little golden books. Please show the videos and read off the titles of these
my
little golden books.
God, what the hell? Okay. Whoa. Okay. Planet of the Apes.
Oh, yeah, a classic.
Oh, my God. Oh, it was Earth all along. Look how cute Jaws is.
Read the subtitle.
Jaws.
That's awesome.
Big Shark, Little Boat, A Book of Opposites.
Aw.
Oh, my God. Oh, A is for Alien, an ABC book. These are incredible. Oh my goodness. These
figure,
are incredible.
Pretty soon you're going to have to get her reading and all of that stuff, and why not do it with the classics?
Oh my God.
Those are official golden books.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Oh my God.
Yeah, as soon as I saw those, I was like, I know exactly who needs these.
Well, I've
it's
seen
for
I've
open.
seen the ads for them before, and I just always assumed they're like a parody thing, or
Right.
a fun joke. But you turn around to the back, and it's
No.
the pokey little puppy,
Yep.
scruffy. It's like, holy shit,
Yep.
that's the real thing.
And they're just clever enough for adults to be reading them because, like,
Yeah.
this one is, A is for alien, B is for whatever. It comes to S, and it's S is for secret, and it shows Ash, and it says Ash knows one or two.
Nice.
I'm like, yes, this is also for adults.
Oh my God. So good. Oh my God.
Perfect little book for this episode.
O
At
is
least that
for
one.
open. Time to unlock the air vent and look inside. Who wants to go first? So good. I'm definitely going to read these to her.
Excellent.
Holy smokes. Oh, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
And then when she gets old enough, she can see the movies they're based on.
Absolutely. She'll
Yeah.
be like, wait a
Some
second, why
earlier
do I
than
know all
others.
of this?
Yeah, I was going to say, I Planet of the Apes is probably a little bit earlier than the, we can go Planet of the Apes, Alien, Jaws?
Yeah, that's a kind of a conundrum there.
The
depending
problem
on-
with Jaws is I want her to still enjoy the beach.
Yeah, it's a
So
good point.
that's going to really fuck things up for me.
Give it a little time then.
Oh,
The shark is very big. The boat suddenly seems very small. You're going to need a bigger boat, Brody tells Quint.
Oh, wow. Jesus. Okay.
and every time the shark shows up in the background of the picture, you see dump, 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 dump.
Oh my God. It's so good. These are
Yeah.
incredible. Oh,
I was pretty fucking proud of myself.
Oh, man. Brava. Brava. These are
Very,
excellent
very,
gifts.
very nice.
See, I have a heart.
So
grew
much
two
better
sizes
than
that
like
day.
a pink flowered ruffled piece of clothing. So
Well,
thank you.
that's not my style.
Exactly.
This is totally my style.
Amazing.
Okay, guys, I'm sure that we have all seen some very cool stuff. It's been a big weekend for movies. I'm going to start it off, though, with a show that I watched on, what did I watch this on? HBO Max. And it is called Kite Man, hell yeah.
Oh my God.
I've watched about a little more than half of the first episode. I was like, I had to run. Go, ah!
It is by the same people who put out the Harley Quinn cartoon. The animation is not as good in this, but it doesn't really matter because the story is all you really care about. It's still very gory. It's still very filthy. It's still very funny. It has a lot of heart because Kite Man is a loser villain who's been kicked out of the League of Villains, and he and his kind of crazy girlfriend have decided to open up a bar for supervillains. And it is just very funny because he and his girlfriend are so in love, and they're both kind of stupid and very crazy, but they are very much in love with each other. And I was watching this going, oh, the heart in this show is gigantic. So, yeah, if you like the Harley Quinn stuff, then you got to watch Kite Man. Hell yeah, is the full title of this show.
Agreed. It is
Really
really good.
Oh man, I've got to check this out. Well, speaking of things you've got to check out, Deadpool v Wolverine, Deadpool and Wolverine,
Deadpool
Sure.
and
DPW.
Wolverine.
DPW. Went and checked that out in theaters, and it is a through and through Deadpool movie.
Yeah, it took me till like today to realize this movie was called Deadpool and Wolverine, and not Deadpool versus Wolverine,
Yeah.
because they spend the majority of the film brutally killing each other over and over.
Yes, yes. And you would think after things like, I don't know, like Kong, I guess X Godzilla, and you know, there's just a lot of V versus films, and I was a little confused too, because I thought for the first two Deadpool movies that Ryan Reynolds / Deadpool hated Wolverine, but now it's like, no, he's just madly in love with him.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, okay, reframe. But yeah, no, it's an interesting film. I don't know if I loved it as much as everyone else is loving it.
I loved it.
Good.
It is a little too long,
It's the plot's a little baggy.
and
It could, and
I didn't quite understand at the end why what they did and why it worked. So
no
I
clue.
I
No
was
clue.
like, okay.
I don't think they understood what the plot of their movie was. And that's okay. It doesn't matter. It's not about the plot. And
Right.
it's not really about the story that doesn't really track, but that's okay.
I will say the woman playing Cassandra Nova
Yeah.
was so fucking interesting
Yeah.
and so weird and so, I'll say it, attractive.
Yeah.
Bald and gigantic eyes. And I was just like, good Lord, this girl is gorgeous. I have no idea who she is or who she is in the comic books.
Yeah, I know that she exists in the comics, and it's an actual character.
Yeah.
And yeah.
But she was so creepy.
Yeah.
And then I thought completely underused. I was like, I want this movie to be about her as the bad guy.
And I wish I wanted more of her in the actual Earth world, because I just felt like we spent so much time in the Mad Max space. I was like, I don't care about this place at all.
I did have to wonder. I was like, I did not realize this was going to be a post-apocalyptic movie.
Yeah, totally. I was like, why are we here still? Okay. But, you know, I also didn't expect this to be a big love letter to Sony, Sony Marvel,
Fox,
whatever stuff, Sony Fox stuff.
Thank you for making my movie again.
Well, it's really a love letter to all the Marvel movies that came out before the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that was, I thought that was really nice, very welcome. And I have to say, I thought Hugh Jackman just fucking killed it. I mean, there were times when I
did.
was ready to start crying.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was like, wow, this guy is so fucking good. Both of them obviously love each other very much in
Yeah.
real life and trust each other
Yeah.
with some pretty emotional scenes between two men.
Oh, very cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's some really great acting, some really great love towards those characters and developing them. I think I just don't actually like the Deadpool character that much. I've actually read some Deadpool. And it's like, but I like the situations he's in. I like the other characters around him. I have no problem at all with his like crassness. I think it's just like, he's all right. But seeing him juxtaposed against Wolverine was really, really fun. I think that was a smart move, and obviously financially has been a huge success.
Giant.
Boy, they're saying that he saved the summer as far as movie going and stuff like
Seemed
that.
to be
So-
one or two of those every year now since like back to Top Gun. Then it was Barbenheimer, and
Right.
now it's this one.
Yeah.
But I wasn't a huge fan of Deadpool in the comics. I didn't read a lot of them. I thought he was fine. But I love Ryan Reynolds' version of him. I
Yeah,
think
Ryan
the
Reynolds is
the two I've seen at least. I just
It's a great recipe. And like I saw the first one on Valentine's Day when it came out, and everyone was like, never put a movie out on Valentine's Day. It's a financial disaster decision. And then that movie like changed that completely because people were like, oh shit, people need something to do on Valentine's Day. We didn't realize. And that movie was just so good. I think the second one was it was good, but it was a little underwhelming to me.
It was
a little
deeply Marvel fan service.
Yeah.
You know, if you read the X-Men through the 80s and a few other things like that,
right,
it hit that target pretty hard.
Interesting.
Can I,
90s.
Before we get to your pick, Eric, can I derail this just a little bit? And can we talk about why Robert Downey Jr. is coming back to Marvel, but as Doctor Doom?
Yeah.
The paycheck was good.
I thought he was over it. I mean, didn't he leave Marvel to go do Dr. Dolittle?
Which flopped.
Yes,
Maybe
which
that's
was
why.
terrible.
There's your answer.
What I don't understand is, you can bring him back. I would love to see somehow Iron Man come back.
Yeah.
Why as Doctor Doom? Why is Doctor Doom as a villain with a thick European accent and very serious villain? Why Robert Downey Jr.?
He's Roma, right? Like Dr. Doom. He's
Latvian, to be precise.
Oh, sorry.
It's a fake country.
There you go.
But I don't understand it. And I'm not even going to say, Downey's only 5'7", so that's going to make for a short Doom because we can put him on Apple boxes and all of that shit. I just don't understand him returning as this character unless they're going to say a variant of Tony Stark became Doctor Doom. I'm like, I don't want that.
That's,
I know. Marvel Universe expansion.
And I just don't like the same character or the same actor playing different characters. I think that doesn't really work in this kind of thing. And I had said it should have been Mads Mikkelsen. And my niece was like, yeah, he was great in Doctor Strange. And I was like, oh, fuck, yeah, we can't have him either. It can't be somebody who's already been in one of these movies.
Yeah. Yeah. Are they've run out of every actor on Earth and now they're going back to the start again?
Well, they've been fading. Oh, Deadpool's doing great. Hey, you know what else? Let's get another huge, giant social media hit.
Yeah.
Let's put Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom.
He has to be a variant. I know that in the comics there are a little bit in there that they can utilize to justify this decision. At one point, there's a storyline where Doctor Doom decides he wants to become Iron Man, and so he switches himself up to trying to do good deeds. And so I know that exists. There's one where they're roommates in college or something, and they are friends and came out of the same pot. So there's weird little crossover moments where they can pull from, but I don't fucking know. Wow. I do not. I think that if you're gonna do a big, huge Marvel bad guy, you should probably just do that bad guy. It's like the Manchurian all over again.
Yeah. All right, sorry, Eric.
Oh, no, that's fine. Because I also saw one of the big new movies.
Oh, shit.
And it was time-based. Because Dina decided yesterday, it's hot as hell.
Yeah.
Let's go see a movie. And we all always go to Cinemark. They have 3 movies playing there because Deadpool and Wolverine are in 6 of the screens. And they were almost all completely sold out. And I didn't feel like sitting in the front row or some weird back corner. So Twister doesn't start for an hour and a half. Twisters and Trap. Okay, we're seeing Trap. I mentioned that I might talk about this before we started, and you said you might go see it. Mm-hmm. I am going to say ahead of time, you will fucking hate this film.
Oh, no.
You will absolutely hate it.
Oh, no.
I didn't necessarily hate it.
Yeah.
But it is, it runs into, let's see, how to word this. He's fun to watch.
Yeah.
Does a great job.
Yeah.
All
Josh,
the cast is
Josh
good.
Hartnett.
Yeah, Josh Hartnett.
Yeah.
With a decent haircut for, a nice change from his earlier career. But he's good. Everybody in it, acting-wise, does a great job. I kind of wonder how many concert M. Nights has been to.
Oh, no.
Because it's a huge kind of Taylor Swift level person performing. Yeah. And at one point, he goes away and his daughter shows up next to him saying, well, they're changing the stage for the next song, so we've got a few minutes. I'm like, What the hell are you talking about? That doesn't happen during concerts. You don't shut the concert down for 5 minutes to change things. But and so that was a weird device he used so she could join him for a little while and set up this buying this T-shirt thing. It's full of that kind of stuff.
Weird.
It has all, and every time he leaves to go see something, it's like the seventh inning of a baseball game. There are so many people in the halls, like lines, huge lines at the vendors, and no, that's not in the middle of a concert.
No.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Or one little one I thought was kind of funny was it was that Taylor Swift kind of thing. So, and they even said at one point there's like 22,000, 25,000 people there. 3,000 of them are men. And he goes to the bathroom and it's packed. I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
It's like the Iron Maiden show I went to where for once the guys line was gigantic and there's nobody in the women's room. It's like no line at all. But it's just full of those little things that keep pulling you out. If you're really interested, and I don't feel too bad about this, this isn't quite spoilery, but it kind of is in that he really doesn't do a twist ending.
Oh.
It does kind of a straightforward. A lot of
that's
shit
good.
is going on, but it's not like, oh, so and so is actually this or that.
Yeah.
So that was interesting.
Okay, cool.
I did like that, and it goes some weird places.
Yeah.
And the third act is actually pretty solid,
Yeah.
but it still has all these weird little moments where.
Man, I so appreciate you saying that up front so that I can level my expectations. Because I think that would have thrown me off a lot. I think I would have spent a lot of time being like, what the fuck?
Yes.
So I appreciate you saying that.
So I'm going to ask some spoiler questions, but only based on what we know the premise is. The premise is there's this big concert. There's a serial killer at the concert, and the concert is a trap for the serial killer.
Yes.
They
actually
all
set
60,000 people are in on this.
No, but the singer is, the performer is.
Oh, okay.
And it doesn't seem like most of her backstage people are, though, but she is, and she's in direct contact with the lead FBI person, as you find out later on. Honestly, the scenes of the actual concert performance are really well done. Like, this feels like a large concert. This is really cool. Then it goes down the hall, and you're like, never mind. But so it's sort of a setup.
Okay. Who is the artist? A real artist, or
No.
Okay.
Interesting.
I wouldn't be surprised if the score, though, pulls out a few hit songs if they make it right, because it's very, very on-brand pop
Like
stuff.
super catchy stuff.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
they wrote some good songs for this. Huh. Well, I'm excited that it's Josh Hartnett, right?
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah. I'm excited to see him like back, and all these dudes are coming back as villains. Like we've got that Channing Tatum movie coming out pretty soon where he's got those girls at a mansion and he's
right.
acting
Oh,
all creepy and
Right.
like more of this. This is great. Let's just like defy expectations.
Yeah.
Also, who's the A24 film of the Girl Scouts who get to Hugh.
Oh yeah, Hugh. Oh my God, Grant.
Hugh Grant's house.
Yes. Oh my God,
And
that was so good.
He's the killer. I was just like, wow. Okay, we have.
The Mormons who are they trying to convert him.
We're playing opposite day today.
Oh, I enjoy a good opposite day, man. I am fully in, and especially when these guys are having such a good time. I mean, you can tell.
Hartnett definitely was. It is weird. It's a weird, interesting, fun performance. That made I enjoyed the general concept of the film enough that I just had to keep pushing back on the logic, stupid little logic things. Like,
It's like that's such easy writing fixes because if you just made it a festival, like a one, there's going to be 5 artists. It's an all-day event, and between each artist there is half an hour. That makes plenty of sense.
and throughout the concert, the cops are coming through and pulling out guys who fit the description. Like, isn't this causing problems with all the people sitting around when 5 cops show up and pull their dad or brother
Yeah, totally.
or
They're
whatever
like,
away?
their husband. They're like, wait a minute, that's unusual.
I feel like I will hate this movie.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if I wasn't in the theater, going, you know what? I'm in the theater. I'm going to try to enjoy this as much as I can. It might even have been
You might have been like, I'm turning this off.
enjoyable.
You were like, you know what? I'm cool. It's not
Yes.
hot.
Yeah.
This movie's incredible.
That's right.
Okay, well, I'm gonna guess you guys might have checked out the first third of the new season of Cobra Kai came out.
I forgot
I have
to.
not.
Okay, well, I watched it. It's 6 episodes. The next 6 come out in November, I believe, and
You
then
say a third?
and then the last 6
Holy
come
shit.
out in April. I think is how this
Wow.
works.
Uh-oh.
It's just so ridiculous. I
Yeah.
mean, Kreese is broken out of prison and
Jesus.
well, he did that at the end of the last season. And now he is working with this evil dojo in Japan. I'm like,
That's right.
how did he get to Japan? He swam there or something?
Take a boat.
But everything is just so ridiculously over the top, and everybody is so evil when they're evil and stupid when they're stupid, and stuff like this. Is like, I am not having a good time with this. I thought that last season was probably a great season to go out on, and now it's turned into, they've been invited to a kumite type thing. I'm like, okay.
You're going to have a Jean-Claude Van Damme cameo.
Well, no. The only way I think that they can do this is because this first one ends with them arriving now at this thing. The people have been chosen who are going to be fighting and all of that stuff. And I was like, okay, the only way that I feel like this can work out is if and I love throwing out ideas like this because it never happens this way, but I guarantee you it's better than what's going to happen. Hilary Swank suddenly shows up. She was in the final Mr. Miyagi Karate Kid.
Yeah.
She shows up. She's already been doing Miyagi Dojo for the last 12 years or 15
Nice.
years in wherever she's in Chicago or something. She finally found out that this other kid has started up something called Miyagi Dojo. She's like, I got a fucking LLC on this. What are you talking about? Cease and desist. And she brings in an entirely new crew of people who are
Oh my
also
God.
karate kids. And then they end up all having to go at it in this kumite type situation.
Oh my God.
So would they join forces or would it become like a triad?
Of course, they would have to join forces.
know. Yeah,
The love of Miyagi brings everybody together.
There you
I'm
go.
confused though. Okay, are Johnny and Danny, are they actually having their dojos work together effectively at all finally?
Well, you will have to find out in this new season.
That's
but,
I'm
part of
so
but
if that is still a
question
tension point, I'm gonna
should be-
fucking throw my TV out the window.
that question should be what you're realizing this show is about. These two people have different styles of karate.
That's right.
I can't handle it because all they have to do the whole thing is they just have to work together and then they'll be awesome and everybody's style will be perfect because one is about offense and one's about defense. Oh my
Holy
God.
shit.
I can't
You
anymore.
are brilliant. But yes, that is the main thing, is that their teaching styles clash.
Yep.
And who can trust each
It's
other?
not a good plot point anymore. It's been years.
Yeah, I was gonna say, go back and watch some old Hong Kong films. It's like every other one at least, if not
Well,
all of them.
Also, when you think about it, that first season was 6 or 7 years ago already now,
Yeah.
and these kids
They're
are looking a
all-
little long in the tooth to be in high school still. It's like, geez, what are you in the 17th grade? Come
Oh,
on.
man. Yeah, Hawk is all like built and manly. Oh.
Anyway, Cobra Kai, Netflix.
Very, very cool. Well, I decided to try and find another show that I could watch with Danica that would be appropriate enough that I wouldn't feel bad as a parent. So I went back and rewatched Prodigy season 1 because I wanted to watch Prodigy season 2.
Nice.
And I was like, yes, I have seen this all. I'm glad I saw it again because I did not remember. And now I'm halfway into season 2 and it is magical.
Is that the one that starts off feeling very much like a Star Wars thing, but then becomes very Star Trek?
It's very Clone
Oh,
Wars
this is Star
initially,
Trek.
and then by the end, it's totally Star Trek. And then season 2, it's so good. It's such good writing. And then by season 2, they're fully in Trek world, and like, there's a lot. I don't know. I know there's a new Starfleet Academy show coming out. Don't bother. season 2 addresses it. You guys could just do a season 3 of Prodigy and save a lot of money and have excellent TV. It's crazy because Voyager, there's hints of Voyager in season 1, and season 2 is like, no, it's fucking Voyager continued. It's Voyager the Golden Years, and I just love it.
Well, you know, you got all those people that say, I'm not going to watch a cartoon. Cartoons are for kids. So they have to make the live action version.
No, because the live action version is usually Discovery, and
I gotta
no one
say,
likes to.
Even though I enjoyed and defended Discovery for a while,
Yeah.
I watched the first 2.5 episodes and have not gone back.
Yeah.
That last season is really bad.
I'm trying so hard. Like, anytime I'm sick, I try to rewatch some or watch some Discovery and see if I can get through. I mean, I forced myself to get through Picard season 1 and 2, and damn it, I need a medal for that. Discovery is years of this bullshit, and it's like, I love that they discovered Anson Mount and gave him a show out of it, and that is the only good thing from Discovery. Aside from giving Tall Guy like an acting gig, like, I'm glad he has an acting gig.
Doug Jones?
Yeah, Doug Jones is great, but also I hate that fucking character.
Yeah.
Character sucks ass. All the
And
characters
it could
suck
be a great
ass.
character too.
He could.
Okay.
Could be.
Anyways, so
I could
I'm
go
gonna
on.
I'm gonna pull a quick Kelly here and quickly mention one film and then get into what I really want to talk about. It's one called Loop Track, which is a New Zealand horror film. that
I saw
watched.
you mention this.
And there's one thing I got to know. I don't think we have a lot of listeners in New Zealand, but if we have any, is this true? You can go out onto the trails and walk for hours and come across a cabin filled with beds and electricity and all this stuff, and then
Like
go
the
trekking again,
deserted
find
cabin?
another one.
Like, this is just like, okay, like they have them around for people to use.
That's what it was presented as. They just walked up and it wasn't booked. That's like, well, we have this booked like an Airbnb or something. You just walk up and you go in. If there's room, you stay. I'm like, is this real? Tell me, please. Anyways, the one I'm going to talk about though is the beginning of my 100 movies for this year.
It begins.
Where I always begin with a pretty crappy series of films. I'd say of the three, Puppet Master was the most entertaining overall. But Resident Evil has some fun.
Now, before you get into this, explain this 100-day thing you just
Yeah,
briefly
there's
mentioned.
a group started by Kim and Kimberly, and this is great. You start 100 days out from Halloween. Instead of doing the 30 days of Halloween, you do 100.
100 days, so one horror movie a night.
Yeah.
Or a day for 100
Give or
days.
take, yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes it's 2 in one day, you know. But yeah, I started with Puppet Master 3 years ago, Children of the Corn last year, and Resident Evil this year. Resident Evil, the first one, was okay. I'm like, all right, this is all right. And then about, I think it's like the third season or the third episode where you're kind of like, movie. Where it's like, they sort of went Fast and the Furious 5, where it's like, oh, screw it. We're getting rid of all the rules. We're doing whatever we want to. We're just going crazy. And that was kind of fun. I know we have a couple of listeners that are probably losing their mind because they played all the games and know all the stuff it's supposed to be. And I don't know how well it follows it. I've only played the first game.
Yeah.
When it first came out, I played that. And that was it.
Mm.
And the last one, which I think you enjoyed a little bit more, I think I would have liked more if it hadn't been on the tail end of watching these 7 films. But they go completely different. It becomes all the cast members are pretty much gone.
It's almost like a reboot, though, too, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the prequel to how it all started.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is that how it was?
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's done as like a ghost story almost. It's more creepy
Raccoon
with
City?
some zombies that show up.
Yeah.
But so it's fun. It's interesting. It's a little different, but overall, I'm sure if I ran into some Resident Evil fan at a convention someplace and they say, "What did you think of the third movie?" I'm going, "Can you tell me what happened
Yeah,
in the
totally.
third movie?"
They really blend together.
Yes. But overall, fun to watch. Revisitable, not really, but I know there are people that love it or hate it because of the game. I will sadly sit in the middle. Sorry, folks. It's fine.
Is this your first watching of all of them, or even the first one
Yeah.
you hadn't watched before?
I thought I might have, but turns out I had not.
Oh, Eric, I'm so glad. I'm so glad you finally checked out the first one. At
I have
least.
another series. I'm doing individual movies for a little while before I start Underworld, which I have seen none of either.
Oh, shit.
You haven't seen the first Underworld?
Nope, I haven't seen any of them.
That one's kind of fun.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where were you in the 90s?
Well, you mean Kate Beckinsale, so.
That's what's kind of fun about it.
Yeah, dude.
All right. Well, why don't we take a little break and I can think about Kate Beckinsale for a little longer.
We all will.
And then when we come back, we are talking movies from the Aliens franchise.
The dreaded beast versus the savage hunter. Aliens versus Predator with awesome new predators. Clan leader attacks with whipping dreadlocks. And Stalker, glowing in the dark, fires his spear. Suddenly, flipping up his attack spikes, the wild boar alien charges. And the ferocious mother alien in her monstrous hive traps Spiketail, then covers him in ooze. Who will survive? Aliens versus Predator. Queen Hive playset comes with mother alien figure and ooze. Other figures sold separately.
Hello?
Let's see who's called the Strange Eons radio hotline.
Hi, Strange Eons Radio. I figured that Mike was not the one to have all of the fun, so this is Rob Gupta calling from just out there to say hi to you all, and I miss your faces, so I'm just going to continue to enjoy you on my YouTube. Y'all have a great day and keep on with those movies. Bye.
If you'd like to call the Strange Eons radio hotline, dial 253-237-4266.
Nobody hangs up on me.
Aww.
Thanks, Rob.
Well, yes,
That's
thank you.
awesome.
Very nice.
That's-
And yeah, it's good to get, hey, we all love DeBronzo, but it's nice to have
We
another
can no
voicemail.
longer
Thank you.
call it the DeBronzo hotline
Yeah,
anymore.
sorry. Did any of you write down his phone number from the last episode?
Yeah, if you want to leave us a message. Wait a second. Vanessa will tell you all about
That's
it in the
right.
pre-recorded thing that we have
Yes.
at the end of every
There you go.
thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, okay, so we are back.
Okay, give me a little break. Okay.
Okay, so we are back. This was my subgenre pick,
Yes.
and the idea was that new Alien Romulus movie is coming out and looks fucking great.
Yeah,
Looks so
it
good.
does.
And I thought it would be a neat idea to each pick a movie from the Alien franchise
Amazing.
and see, talk a little bit about this kind of stuff. The only thing I was asking was, don't make it the first movie or the second movie. Come on.
Yeah.
But anyhow,
Should
since
have.
since this was my choice, I will start us off. I'm giving myself 10 minutes, as usual. And I am talking about Aliens versus Predator.
Seven days ago, one of my satellites over in Antarctica discovered a pyramid.
Where exactly on the ice is this?
It's not on the ice. It's 2,000 feet under it. Let's make history.
Oh my God. Whoever built this pyramid believed in ritual sacrifice.
Did you hear that?
What was that thing? What's going on? Let's go!
What did you say this room was called?
Sacrificial chamber.
This story's all here. This whole thing was a trap.
They're not hunting us. We're in the middle of a war.
They're using us as bait.
You're ugly! Son of a...
This is from 2004, a budget of $60 million, a worldwide box office of $170 million. Rotten Tomatoes critics give this 22%.
Whoa.
And
That's
the
generous.
audience gives it 39%.
That's also generous.
Written and directed by Eric's new favorite director, Paul W.S. Anderson.
Oh,
With
no.
17 credits, including almost all of the Resident Evil movies, the Death Race remake, Event Horizon, Soldier, Mortal Kombat, a bunch of our favorites. Starring Sana Lathan, 56 credits. She was in Blade, Now You See Me 2. I still am furious that we live in a world where the sequel to Now You See Me is not called Now You Don't. What the fuck? She was also in 9 episodes of Harley Quinn as the voice of Catwoman.
Oh.
Also starring Lance Henriksen, 269 credits, including Damien Omen 2, Near Dark, Pumpkinhead, 67 episodes of Millennium as Frank Black. You can hear more about him in our Glance at Lance episode. Also in this is Rydal Bova, 83 credits, including Rewind, The Company, The Tourist, and tons of Italian flicks. And then also in this is Ewan Bremer, Colin Salmon, Tommy Flanagan, and Agatha, I think, or maybe Agatha de la Brule. No A at the end of Agatha.
Huh.
So, you guys have seen Alien vs. Predator.
It's been a hot minute, but yes, I remember enduring it.
Big fan, I can tell.
Fantastic film.
As this film opens, we meet our lead, Alexa Woods, climbing a treacherous cliff in Tibet or some far-off place. She's literally free climbing a sheer rock cliff covered in ice 1,000 feet up when she gets a phone call and decides to answer it. Pulls it out of her parka that she's climbing in and all this stuff. Now, you'd think that she wouldn't have very good service up there in 2004, especially, but apparently she does, and she has been asked to join a very specialized research team on an archaeological dig. She tells the man on the other end of the line that she can't make it. It'll take her 3 weeks to get back to civilization, which, you know, is making this phone service sound even more amazing.
Wow.
But when she gets to the top of the cliff, there is that man standing there next to a helicopter, and he says they could not wait that long. So she is whisked away to a scientific freighter that is heading up to Antarctica and finds herself with a team of archaeologists, linguistic experts, drillers, and mercenaries. And this motley crew has been put together by wealthy industrialist Charles Bishop Wayland, who is, of course, played by Lance Henriksen. Wayland informs the team that one of his satellites has recorded a mysterious heat bloom on this island off the coast of Antarctica, and they have discovered through thermal imaging that there's a pyramid buried 2,000 feet beneath the ice, and this team will be going to try and dig down to get to this pyramid. Meanwhile, before they get there, a gigantic Predator spaceship reaches Earth's orbit and fires a laser beam that creates a passage through the ice towards the buried pyramid.
Oh, good.
So when our expedition team arrives, they find this gigantic hole in the ice that is perfectly smooth on all sides, and they're like, no biggie, let's take advantage of this. And so they use it to descend to the pyramid, where they begin to explore, finding evidence of a prehistoric civilization and what appears to be a sacrificial chamber filled with human skeletons and, strangely, ruptured rib cages.
Oh, no.
Nothing makes sense. when they get down there, because the hieroglyphs down there are a mixture of 3 completely different languages, but apparently they are used in a way that is very easy for the linguist to decipher. In fact, every third word just repeats that 1, 2, 3. I was like, this seems like a very stupid way to write, especially if it's your natural way of writing, but it turns out to be no problem. Maybe it shouldn't even have been mentioned. It's a really stupid thing that makes you go,
cut this out.
Yeah.
What's the runtime?
While they're exploring below, 3 predators arrive and kill all the humans on the surface. Meanwhile, the expedition team has unwittingly activated the structure, which awakens a captured alien queen from cryogenic stasis, and the pyramid begins to force her to produce eggs. This scene is actually very fucking cool. The expedition members that are trapped in the sacrificial chamber are quickly attacked by facehuggers and then get their chests blown out and the aliens grow super fast.
Fun.
Sure.
All of this throws out the timeline set in the first few movies where the facehugger impregnates you and then you seem to be fine for several hours before the chest burster blows out of you, and then that should take some amount of time to become a full-grown alien, right? Because where the fuck are they getting all this mass at that they suddenly grow this big? Has anyone ever discussed how that works? I haven't seen this in any movie.
No, but yeah. The precedent is there for it to take at least a couple days. So
Anyway, pretty quickly, it's all-out war between predators, aliens, and humans, and 2 of the predators are killed by an alien, while Wayland himself is killed by a predator. I have right here in my notes, through an incredibly stupid translation of the various hieroglyphs, the last of the survivors learned that the predators have been visiting Earth for thousands of years, teaching early human civilizations how to build pyramids and such. Every 100 years or so, they would visit Earth to take part in a rite of passage in which several humans would sacrifice themselves as hosts for the aliens, creating the ultimate prey for the predators to hunt. Finally, with the pyramid being overrun by all these aliens now, the last 2 survivors realize that the last predator must be allowed to succeed in his hunt so that the aliens do not reach the surface. Will Alexa gain the respect of the remaining predator by killing one of the aliens single-handedly? Will she then be ceremonially scarred by the predator and brought into his hunting pack, where she will be given a weapon and a shield made out of a severed alien head that can withstand the alien's acid? And will you, the viewer, wonder why she's able to stick her hand inside that severed alien head shield but not have any of the acid that surely must be inside that burn her?
questions.
This movie is quite stupid, but I had a much better time with this viewing than I did when I first saw it. I think there's a lot to like in this. It's just surrounded by a bunch of really, really stupid bullshit.
There you go.
Nice.
Tagline: whoever wins, we lose.
Oh, shit.
Good.
I actually kind of like that. Patton Oswalt's joke was, whoever wins, we left. Trivia. In the timelines of the franchises, this movie takes place 17 years after the first Predator and 118 years before the first Alien. It has since been decanonized as a prequel to the Alien series because of Ridley Scott's prequels, which are better, but not as fun, I don't think. Arnold Schwarzenegger offered to reprise his role as Dutch from Predator as a cameo at the end of this movie, but only if he lost his bid for the governor of California, which he did not.
Oh, all right.
The Antarctic setting on Bouvet Island is based on the unexplained Vila incident of September 22nd, 1979, where a satellite recorded a flash of light near the island. It was first speculated to have been a man-made nuclear explosion or a natural event, such as a meteor strike, but it has never been resolved.
Ooh.
I love that this was in 79 and something weird that we still haven't figured out. That's not too long ago. At the beginning of the film, there's this Morse code that is being picked up by the satellite. It spells out the words, whoever wins, we lose. And finally, roughly 70% of effect scenes were created using suits, puppets, and miniatures, with both real elements and CGI often used within the same shot, depending on what looked best. I think the creatures look really great in this flick, especially the alien queen, which is about the size of a city bus. When she finally breaks out and starts chasing after them, you're like, there's no way they can fight her. I did not realize she was 30 feet long. But it's got a really cool, fun ending where, of course, the human and the predator have to join forces to fight the alien queen.
I forgot about
liked
that
it.
part. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I had a good time with it. It is not a good movie.
Sure.
But I watched it the whole time. I made popcorn. I was like, fuck yeah. There was a lot of eye rolling, but otherwise, I was fine with it.
That's awesome.
I beat my timer, and I am turning it off right now. Vanessa, would you like to go next?
Would I?
10 minutes says you would.
Let's go a little bit further back in time. I'm going to go with Alien 3.
Here, in a world where the sun burns cold and the wind blows colder, a visitor has come. But not by herself.
It started.
The suspense is back.
And we have no weapons of any kind?
The fear is back.
Don't look back, dude! Run as fast as you can!
And most of all, the bitch is back. Alien 3.
This is from 1992. Rotten Tomato score of 47% from critics, 46% from audience.
Oh, look at that.
Budget of 50 to 60 million, somewhere in there. Box office of 159.8 million. So pretty big success. This is directed by David Fincher, who has 95 credits to his name, including Zodiac, Seven, Social Network, Fight Club, Gone Girl. He actually, out of those 95 credits, I was like, damn, how many movies did he do? Not that many. He actually did a lot of music videos and Levi's commercials. There's like 10 Levi's commercials listed in there. Starring, of course, Sigourney Weaver, 105 credits, including Alien films, Ghostbusters 1 and 2, Galaxy Quest, Avatar. Charles S. Dutton, 110 credits, including Legion, Gothica, Mimic. Charles Dance, 168 credits, including Gosford Park, Last Action Hero, Game of Thrones as Tywin Lannister, and Lance Henriksen. 269 credits. We just talked about him. We know him. Please check out our previous episodes. And a couple of other familiar faces, including people like Pete Postlethwaite and Paul McGann. If you watch any like indie British films from the 90s, like Widnell and I, these people are going to look familiar. All right, the plot. Following immediately after Aliens, a facehugger is on board the escape vessel that is carrying Newt and Ripley and Hicks off. And it gets out and it spills acid, which causes a fire, and the pod breaks off of the ship and crash lands on a prison colony planet. Newt's pod is broken into and she is killed/drowns. Her face is kind of frozen in this look of horror. It's pretty fucked up. Hicks is mangled. His body is really bad looking. Bishop also is broken up as well. I can't remember how he ended at what his state was at the end of Aliens.
Torn in half.
Okay, he was torn in half. Okay. So yeah, he looks pretty bad, but it looks like his neck is like twisted as well. Like nobody fared well, of course, except for Ripley. The prisoners rescue her, and one of the inmates' dogs goes to investigate the ship and sniff around, and of course is attacked by the facehugger. Ripley is then quarantined and put into the medical room with Clements, aka Charles Dance, who tells her that she is the sole survivor. The prison warden insists that she doesn't go out and talk to the other prisoners because it would be way too dangerous since they have not seen a woman in years, and most of them are rapists and pedophiles and all kinds of not good dudes. But they have developed a religious sect on this island, and they are all like, we're chaste and we're basically monks. We don't want to have sex anyway. Screw you guys. But of course, they see that situation is very fragile, and the warden is like, let's not fuck with this. She, of course, immediately is like, screw you guys. I want to go investigate. And she goes all over the place looking for bodies, looking for evidence of things. She sees the acid marks that were around the ship and insists on an autopsy of Newt. When the doctor asks why, she says, oh, I don't know, like cholera or some shit. And he's like, that hasn't been a problem for 200 years. She's like, do it. So, of course, he bursts her open, checks the chest, and she is clear. She definitely died of drowning, but that leaves us to wonder who was attacked by the facehugger in the flashes at the beginning of the film. The doctor suspects that there is more going on than what she is saying, and they become closer as she not really pretends, but does not want to tell him anything at all for apparently no reason. He also has a secret and dark history. He isn't actually a prisoner like the others. When the dog alien comes out and kills a bunch of people and the situation becomes clear that the 25 prisoners are in danger and Ripley is also in danger, she does finally tell people what's going on. I don't know why she waited this long. They all kind of have to band together and kill the alien before it kills them. It took me a little while to figure out if there's one or more than one. There is only one, I think. So long as they don't try to rape or kill her first. This film is graphic as fuck. It is so fucking gory. Like, I was like, man, that little girl's not looking so hot, nor is that guy. Oh, hey, there's a guy who walks into a fan and gore just splatters everything. Like, there are multiple times where people are just blowing up or eaten and there's just liquid on people's face. Man, it's a lot. Also, there's a weird British thing going on with this film. There's a lot of UK actors. It is oddly a little bit funny in a lot of places. It looks a lot like Brazil. Like, it's shot at a lot of low angles, very intense looking, kind of the sepia tone. It's just, there's something about it that feels like it's harkening back to that. A lot of extremes. And of course, it is shot in the UK by a UK director. So I think that's a big part of it. The aliens look like shit. They look hella stupid. That is because they are super overlit. They are you see way too much. You can totally tell it's like guy standing up in suit, gets punched in face. Guy, like you needed a lot more shadows than what you're getting. Also, of course, it's very early CGI, which is awful for some reason, even though most of the film looks this sort of orangey tint. All of the aliens are like this black green, especially when they crawl on the ceiling. You're like, why are they are they nuclear? Why are they glowing green? I don't understand why Ripley is super sexual in this film. Like within waking up, she pretty much immediately is like, I'm going to have sex with Charles Dance. Cool. He's not very attractive in this movie. So I'm like, okay, you do you. Cool. Good. Enjoying, I guess. Also, his whole story where he's like, hey, I have this dark secret and also I'm the cool guy on here and maybe I'm the second most important character in this film. He then just tells her what his truth is and hilariously immediately dies. The alien's just like, all right, through the back of your skull and you're dead and bye. And I'm like, wait, who's in charge of this movie? Who are we following now? And then we hop from character to character, and I really do not fully grasp who we're supposed to care about and not care about. The company dudes who show up near the end look insane. They're wearing like plastic sheets and aluminum painted glasses. They look like they walked out of a even more low budget version of Blade Runner. It's very strange. And of course, we have the big ending, Ripley death. Where she may or may not perhaps have an alien in her. And as she jumps off into the fire, it bursts through her chest and she cuddles it lovingly like it's her own offspring as she goes down into the fire below. Anyway, a little bit of trivia. There were a lot of screenwriters involved in this. In 1987, William Gibson was approached by Hill and Geiler, and he wrote a perfectly executed script that wasn't all that interesting. In 89, Eric Red wrote a script. He said, the one script I completely disowned because it was not my script. It was a rush product with too many story conferences and interference with no time to write, and it turned out utter crap. David Towie then wrote the script, asked to start with Gibson's, and then Fox president Joe Roth told him, please rewrite it, but include it with Ripley. Then, of course, Hill and Geiler did the final drafts with Larry Ferguson as script doctor. Ferguson's work was not well received, particularly by Sigourney Weaver, who felt Ferguson made Ripley sound like a pissed-off gym teacher. Hill and Geiler took control of it themselves and melded all the earlier drafts into it, which is why it is a hot mess. Fox wanted to assemble a director's cut of Alien 3 for home video release, but Fincher refused to participate. Instead, an extended cut called the Assembly Cut was created out of the editing room notes. It runs 144 minutes long with over 30 minutes of extras. And in the 2010 Blu-ray version, the additional footage went through a post-production process, receiving color correction, sound mixing, and bringing back some of the cast members to re-record dialogue. So that's the one you want to see if you're going to watch the extended version.
144 minutes?
Yeah.
It's a 3-hour fucking film?
Wow. Yeah. I did not watch that one because I was tired. So I watched.
Let's see, 144, 130 something. I'm good.
It was like 125 or something. I was like, yup.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go with the shorter one. I don't care. Yeah, there's a lot of really fun trivia. Basically David Fincher hates this movie. Completely fucking hates it. It almost tanked his career, and if it wasn't for Sigourney Weaver arguing on his behalf after, he never would have gotten 7, which allowed him to reignite his career and allow him to be one of the most respected directors of his time. The most iconic scene from the film, he basically had to go out of his way to steal a camera and run off without the permission of the producers and shoot with them saying, please don't do this. And it ended up being the best shot of the film. And that's where the alien's guy's little face right up against Ripley. Yeah. This was a, it was funny. It was like kind of a funny film. It wasn't as bad as I remember it being the first time I saw it, but it's like a good film, but a bad alien film. Like it feels like it just jars so horribly with the tone of Alien. And of course, it fucking shits all over Aliens like immediately. And if you want to have, if you want catharsis for that moment, please read the Dark Horse Alien series. It's very good. It makes up for all of this, but yeah.
Just recently, like within the last couple of years, they released that William Gibson script as a comic book also.
Yeah, I have not read it.
Oh, really?
It's better than this.
Yeah. Which is too bad because they were like really like, oh, it's very boring, and that's why we didn't go with it.
Yeah, I did not like this film when it came out, and I think I have warmed to it since.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is kind of a bummer. Also, when you have that huge jump from Alien to Aliens into a full-on action film with a lot of aliens and all that, then trying to bring it back to a small thing is a little tough.
Yeah.
It's definitely weird when you're like, I'm on a prison planet with 25 dudes. It's a whole planet, but there's only 25 dudes. We're all in this one space. Yeah, I mean, it's beautifully shot. I feel like the actors they got are really talented. The character design is great. Like a lot of people have cool backstories, and you can kind of click into them pretty quickly. It's just, it feels like a mess. You're just like, wait, why are you here? Why are we here at all? Like
the talent of Fincher, it almost feels like a true studio interference kind of situation where, I mean, yeah, like you just pointed out, he went and made what amounted to the image of the movie.
Yeah. Against their will.
Them not wanting him to do it at all.
He had to steal the fucking camera, and they explicitly told him not to. And yeah, totally. Like, he clearly is super talented, and he's being wasted on this film, and I think this series is also wasted on him. I think it's just a bad fit.
Yeah. Eric, I'll put 10 minutes on the buzzer. What did you decide to talk about?
Oh, I should have talked about aliens.
Oh, no.
So I went with 2017's Alien Covenant.
You've all sacrificed so much to be here and be a part of this thing we're doing. This crew is made up of couples. It's the first ever large-scale colonization mission. And everyone back on Earth is really grateful for your hard work, and your courage. We're making history here.
This is wheat. What are the odds of finding human vegetation this far from Earth?
Who planted it? You hear that?
What?
Nothing. No birds. No animals. Nothing. What happened here?
What's happening?
I need you back here right now. I need you.
Okay, baby, just calm down, sweetheart. Calm down.
Tell me to calm down.
You're breaking up.
All of this is to start our new life. Where is it?
Holy.
Right.
Which is going to follow up to Prometheus. Rotten Tomatoes has it at, I mean, ratings-wise, kicking ass here. 65 by critics, 55 by the crowd, which I think is a little generous.
Okay.
$97 million budget, $240 million worldwide.
Wow.
So it did all right. It's available on Hulu and to rent, so it's out there. Directed by Ridley Scott. You know, Gladiator 1 and 2 coming to theaters soon. The Martian, G.I. Jane, White Squall, the Apple Macintosh 1984 commercial. Writers, well, I got Dan O'Bannon listed, of course, who also wrote Life Force, Return of the Living Dead, and Blue Thunder. Roland Suchet works with Dan O'Bannon a lot. Dead and Buried, Above the Law, Total Recall, and Jack Paglin, who did Transcendence.
Yeah, Jack is the actual writer of this because Dan is dead and Ron Shusett is only living off of his creative by credit.
Yep, he's getting the Walter Hill treatment for the Alien movies. At least three people did quite well as producers for this, writers for this film. Starring Michael Fassbender. You know, it's always fun there. He was in Prometheus, X-Men movie. You might know him from. He played Steve Jobs. He's in Inglourious Bastard. Catherine Waterston, who's in Babylon and the Fantastic Beasts movies. The Steve Jobs movie. And Eat, Pray, Love. Sorry, that's Billy Crudup, who's the next actor. He was in Eat, Pray, Love. And Almost Famous. Such a good movie. And Watchmen and The Stanford Experiment. 3 relatively underrated films. Danny McBride, who you might know from 27 episodes of The Righteous Gemstones. One of the best things he's done, and he's done some good shit. The Angry Birds movie. The Disaster Artist. Sausage Party. Superbad, Hot Rod, and Pineapple Express. Guys everywhere. I did not realize he was a writer on Halloween Ends, Halloween Kills, and Halloween. Those should have been funnier movies, at least.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oof.
So open up with the profound philosophical questions. If you created me, who created you? As Fassbender's, I don't know what you'd call him, artificial human, I guess.
Yeah.
But questions his creators. And anyways, so after that scene, which is a ridiculously heavy way to start an Alien movie, but you kind of get what Ridley Scott really wants to talk about in these last couple movies here. But here we go right back to Alien. Traveling through space, something goes wrong. Everybody gets woken up. They have to figure out what the problem is. Some people die coming out of cryo. Some people are fine. After that little prologue of the philosophy, it's very much original Alien for about 15, 20 minutes of them trying to figure out what's going on and deciding what to repair and all that kind of stuff. There's a weird giant decision in this film, which is half understandable and half, I don't know. They discover a livable planet that's like weeks travel away versus the 7 years to get to the planet that has already been vetted and they know will work for them and all that stuff. But they're like, well, there's a alert thing. Maybe we should go check it out. It looks like a perfectly livable planet. It'll be just fine. And although I will say I thought the reaction of the Prometheus things with the helmets coming off was a little overrated, this movie should have also pissed off all of those same people because they just go down to this planet and just start wandering around and decide they're not going to go back to sleep. So they land on this unknown planet and, of course, then immediately separate, going into separate groups. There is a very, very strange variant of Alien in this movie where a flower spews a bunch of little things into this guy's ear, and within a matter of hours he's alien impregnated. Like, oh well, that's new. And that's how they get the first couple aliens to do that. They do that to a couple people, and then again goes into the problems Prometheus has a little bit, where this person is obviously really sick and something's very wrong, but of course the person with him, I must protect you. I will get you there, even though you're obviously infected with something that's probably going to kill you, and I will definitely get it. That in this movie, I need to be the powerful hero and get you back to the thing, and then get pissed off when the cooler heads prevail and lock us both in inside here. It's like, well, that seems like the right approach, considering the guy's bleeding out his back. So the micro critters is a very strange choice. I don't think it really works. And it wasn't necessary. Yeah. He could have just done the alien egg just as easily. Let's see what else is going on. So they do have the egg thing eventually, but the gestation periods again is now like minutes. So the aliens are incredibly tough in this film. One thing that Aliens should have established is if you have a pulse rifle or a gun of some kind, you're going to blow the shit out of these things. You may suffer some pretty bad splashback. But in this one, they're shooting them with the little one that just comes out. I mean, it's still pretty big. It's way bigger than any other aliens. It chest pops out of this guy. They're shooting with shotguns and all this stuff, and it's kind of just fine. So, finding there's a crashed, one of the very recognizable kind of U-shaped alien ships is discovered, and they find Fassbender's character from the first movie, who is now completely insane. I don't really get this part of the film, what the purpose was. Why would he come to this? Why did he come to this planet, which I guess was supposed to be fully populated, but only seemed to have like one city on it? And he goes and destroys the entire population of the city. Right. And I'm sure if I watched it again, there's some statements he makes that justify it, but if there were, they weren't as prevalent as they should have been.
It could be that he is just a secret asshole.
Yeah, that's kind of what it's got to be. There's not a lot of aliens in this movie either. There's a few scenes of them, but a lot of it is android versus android stuff and artificial human being. It's more entertaining and more fun than Prometheus was, but it still definitely has Ridley Scott wants to tell some more philosophically based ideas. And for some reason, he's chosen really kind of non-thinking destructive predators as his vehicle.
Yeah.
For that. It's like, okay. Taglines. This one has a lot. Run. The path to paradise begins in hell. These are all individual ones. Hide, scream, pray. Those are just the one words.
Oh my God.
Discover the origin of terror. The beginning of a nightmare. Witness the creation of fear. And big things have small beginnings.
Oh my God.
They made a bunch of short films based on this, and I watched the prologue one before, and I was like, holy shit, the effects for this are great. Oh, it's directly pulled from a scene from the movie. It just has the two characters interacting in a little room, and then they go to the scene that's straight from the film. So, okay. I didn't really bother watching the other ones, because after this, there's an explosion of short films from Alien. It seems to be like dozens of them or something. It's just... And when you search for them, they don't show up in a good order. So I was just like, okay.
These are like Blu-ray add-ons or something like that? Or?
I actually have the Blu-ray for this, and they're not on there.
Oh.
Weird.
That's what I thought, too. It's like that collector stupid mentality.
Yeah.
It looks fantastic. The $97 million was spent really well. And so it looks great. Ridley Scott can direct the hell out of an actor. That's not a problem. The performances are all good. And I can see if you went from Prometheus to this, why you might up its grade a little bit, but I haven't seen Prometheus in a very long time.
Yeah.
And watching this one, it's kind of like, well, because it started off as such an interesting alien style film that I thought it was going to roll that way, but then it rolls into this big, giant thought process. I'm like, well, okay. It does have a distinction of the alien vision, where you see through the alien again for I think it's the first time in quite a while, but it's sort of like, I thought something had got into the digital and had messed that up. So I'm watching, oh no, it's moving. That's alien vision. It kind of looks like if somebody squirted a pane of glass and then sort of systematically make it look kind of cool. That's sort of what it looks like, but it's fun and neat. But yeah, this is fine.
Yeah. I remember it being very philosophical near the end. Like it's a really long movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember being upset. So it turns out that David is basically, he's creating these aliens, right? He's advancing their evolution.
Yeah.
And what I didn't understand, trying to put any of these movies in anything that really makes sense as, this is the movie before this movie doesn't really work.
Right.
Why was it when we see the baby alien he's got, it's just a small version of the big chap instead of the chest burster?
Right.
Shouldn't that be the youngest form?
Yeah, he like regurgitates up these little things, and so it's like, well, why isn't it an egg?
Right.
They come from eggs, or why isn't it at the thing that would attack a human?
Right.
As opposed to, it.
So, and it's those kind of things that then pull you out of how it connects to the film, because you're like, well, we already see the life, the stages of this alien. So why are you changing that now? Now that makes me think there's another thing that happens after this and before the alien movies, so that we can get to that thing. And I don't know.
The even Aliens, which is super fast action movie, takes the gestation slow.
Yeah,
it takes a purpose. And in the first movie, that's where a huge chunk of the tension that you don't even realize is going on till it happens, that shock moment. You lose that entirely, because if you did a slow one now, everybody knows where it's going, so you could create another dinner kind of scene with the Alfred Hitchcock version of show them the bomb
right,
and before it goes off, but nobody's doing that.
Yeah, even Alien 3 did do that. I mean, like, you knew that you kind of put together that, oh, she's not feeling good. She's running a temperature, but there's like days. She has enough time to form a relationship with the doctor, have sex with him, figure out how to get all of the penal colony guys to like band together against the aliens and fight them before it still hasn't come out of her.
Yeah, hers is extra long.
Hers is like at least 3 days. At least. That's, and that's if it's all very fast. So I don't know.
Yeah, can you believe that Ridley Scott badmouthed Alien versus Predator and then went and made these two films? It's like, come on, dude.
He has a very specific sense of style.
Oh, that is true.
Really...
all his films look fantastic. No matter how mediocre the film might be, it's still wow. And it's frustrating because it is a beloved concept. Mm-hmm. And the movies that are really good are legendarily good. These are masterpieces for a reason, but they just can't seem to figure out the whatever it is to take it to a different level and have it. Hopefully the new one, which looks
very
holy
cool.
shit good.
Yeah, and it's by the Lights Out guy.
Yeah.
That's
and
gonna be
Evil
interesting.
Dead, last year's Evil Dead.
That's right. Yeah, I'm stoked for it.
Yeah, me too. It takes place between Alien and Aliens, though, and I'm like, okay, what are you going to do now? We have. So he said that nothing in his film. He basically ignored Prometheus and Covenant, but I guess all he has to do is kind of pay attention to Alien.
Yeah.
If that's all he's doing is a sequel to Alien that happens before Aliens.
How many years is it between Alien and Aliens? Because I know like her daughter gets to have a whole
56 or something like that.
Yeah,
that she's sleeping.
She's cryo, so it's a long time.
Yeah. Okay.
So okay, well. Well, I thought that this would be a fun idea, and I still think it was a fun idea.
Oh yeah.
Just the films. This is a Rocky franchise.
Yeah, part of it is we love them so much, and even yours include. You throw Predator into that.
Yeah.
That you just hope they're going to be good again, and when they're not or they're mediocre, it's like, oh, okay. Like when Prey came out last year.
Yeah.
We're just like, oh yeah.
You can do something cool with this very simple idea. Oh shit.
Yeah. I mean, well, the other thing is, when you get a Paul W.S. Anderson film, you know what you're in for.
Yeah,
it's going to be stupid and fun and lots of, fighting and explosions. Yeah. Ridley Scott, you have a certain level of expectation.
Yeah. The dude made some balls out classic films.
Yeah.
Man. Some of the best sci-fi around.
So.
Yeah. But he's made a lot of films that people don't really revisit. Like, I mean, how many times do people talk about Legend? I would like to rewatch it, but I know that it is.
Legend's great. That was one of that was one of the evergreen titles when I worked at Suncoast.
Yeah.
Always sold.
Yeah.
I think it's more of a time kind of thing. Like people of a certain age just glap onto Dark Crystal. Mm-hmm. If you missed that, which I kind of did.
Yeah.
And then Legend, I think, was the same thing.
Yeah.
Or Never Ending Story. There's sort of those, but if you're not in that group,
if you
nobody
don't
talks
realize
about
that
Legend.
He can sit there on a shot of something real pretty without any real reason for a long time.
Yes, they're very, very true.
All right, well, let's wrap this up. Vanessa, that means you have the next pick.
Well, okay, so my idea is it is hot as fuck outside.
You don't say.
It's really horrible. So I just want to do a fun summertime themed week. So I'm going to go with swimming pools.
Ooh,
yes.
pool.
So not lakes or anything like that.
No.
Actual,
it's
like,
got to be a
backyard
swimming pool.
Or public pools. Okay,
and it doesn't have to be that the whole thing involves a pool, but one good solid swimming pool scene.
Nice pool party. Okay, that's where we're at the end now. So we talk about the people who like and share the posts, who are participating in the value for value model, which is if you get a little value out of this, turn around and give a little value back. You decide what that value is. You can call us and leave a message like Robert and Mike DeBronzo do at 253-237-4266. And I think that's about it.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got a novel out. It's burning up the charts.
Yeah.
If you've read it, review it.
What you would
Please
call
pop
a
on.
worst seller.
And since Kelly won't say it, just give it 5 stars and make it happy.
I don't want 5 stars. But thank you to everyone who has given it 5 stars. That's very lovely. Okay, so we are coming back in 7 short days, and we are talking swimming pools. See you next Thursday. Transportation and other considerations for Strange Eons Radio, produced by Pan Am Airlines. When you think of traveling, think of Pan Am. You can't beat the experience. Guests of Strange Eons Radio stay at Econo Lodge Everett. It's an easy stop on the road, you know what we mean. Strange Eons Radio is recorded live in front of a studio audience. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider leaving us a positive review on your favorite podcast app. Sit, Ubu, sit.
And everybody's style will be perfect because one is about offense and one's about defense. Oh my God. I can't anymore.